If there's anything I hate more than people, it would be D.M.Vs. Because they're just terrible places run by terrible people. So, if y'all haven't ever been to a D.M.V, which I'm sure you have if you drive, or are on your working your way to driving, it's a terrible place that has lines, that involves lines and grumpy old ladies and that are rude to you and are like, oh no, this line, that's the wrong line for this, so you need to go to a different line. Those ladies. But anyway, so I go to the D.M.V. I had a terrible D.M.V. experience, and I hope I never have to go to that place again, which I know I will. But anyway, so I go get my papers from the driving school because I finished my driver's school and I had to finish paying or whatever. And I get it, and then I go to the D.M.V. and we drove to the one like near my house, and we're like, oh, it shouldn't be that bad. It was that bad. So we got there, and it was like people outside around the building a couple times, and I was like, oh, we're not about to do this because we don't have that time. And so, and if you're not in by 5, they close the doors and they don't give a crap. Um, so I am like, okay, well, let's go to a different one. So we went to one far away that took like 30 minutes to get to. But when we get there, there's a line, but it's not that bad. It's just like side the building to the side. It's not as bad as it could have been. So we wait in the line. I get in the line, waiting. I finish. I finally get in. We get in. I finish registration by 4:34, right? And this bitch is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We don't test after 4:30." And I'm like, "It's only gonna take me like 2 minutes to take the test. I promise you. Like, it's not gonna take me that long." And then she's like, "Oh no, sorry. We don't." When I saw a bitch walk all the way to the fucking side, well, like a kid, and they got their fucking permit and they got to take the test, and I was like, really, bitch? But whatever. She was just a bitch. Like, she was straight up just a bitch. Not because of that, because of other things. When she was filling out my stuff, she's like, you're not gonna be a donor. I chose not to be a donor for right now, but later I'm going to sign up for it. But anyway, she's like, you're not a donor. Well, you need to check the no box. And I was like, I did check the no box. And she's like, oh, why aren't you gonna be a donor? And she was like trying to make me feel like a bad person or something. I have a personal reason for it. And so anyway, she got all crazy with me, and then when I was paying, I was like, oh, here you go. And she's like, it needs to be made out to that, and because there's a check. And I was like, okay, I made it out to that. And she's like, oh. But she was just really rude and bitter. She had this ugly ass bun. Bitch, if you're gonna put a bun, don't put an ugly ass bun. But anyway, so she's like, oh, go take your picture. So I took my picture, and I was mad in my picture. Best believe I was fucking pissed. And then the old lady, it was a different old lady that took my picture, and she was nice, and she's like, oh, you can just come back tomorrow, like, because I looked like I was about to cry, because I was about to have a mental breakdown at the D.M.V. if I didn't take my test that day, because I knew I wasn't going to get to take it a different day. And she's like, oh, it's okay, you can just come tomorrow, you don't even have to wait in the line, you just go straight up to the thing. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was like depressed, and I was really gonna cry. Like, my eyes were watering, and I think she caught on to that. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm gonna try not to cry. So I got registration done. The next day in the morning, I convinced my dad to take me. So I take the test. It takes me like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, 10 minutes, like 5 minutes tops. Pass. I missed 2, and it was like 7 in the morning when I took it too. And then, but when I got there was a line again. I was like, the lady told me not to wait in a line. I'm not gonna wait in a fucking line because I don't do lines. So I walk in there like a boss, and I walk to the place the lady told me. And he's like, no, you have to wait like everybody else. But I'm like, but I have my registration. She's like, oh, really, bitch? Whatever. So I went in the line. It wasn't that bad. I get out pretty fast. Pretty decent time. And then the lady's like, oh, just go wait in that line. And I'm like, okay. I didn't get a number or nothing different. And I'm like, oh, I need to take my permit test to the lady. She's like, oh, okay, here you go. The same bitch that told me I had to go wait in the line. I was just like, whatever. So I take my test. I go to the lady, and you need to sign here. I'm like, she's like, well, you passed. And she's trying to be like excited. And I was just like, cool. Because I was mad. I was mad about the DMV then. I was mad. Like, I wasn't even happy that I passed. Because I was already mad about the DMV. Like, not to be pessimistic or whatever, but I was already done. I was done with the fucking DMV. I was DMV'd out. I was like, we need to go, Dad, because I'm done. So, yeah. If you ever have to go to the DMV, go online and see if it could be done online. And if it can't, then you have to take your sad ass to the DMV. And that's going to be a depressing day. And it was the same day my phone decides to die. So I just had a terrible DMV experience. And I hope that I never have to go there ever again. Ever. Ever. If you work at the DMV, you're a terrible person probably. Unless you're that nice old lady that helped me. And it's like, you chose your job. First of all, that's what I hate about people. Like, people that are rude to you, like, and you're a customer. Like, first of all, bitch, I'm a customer, so you're supposed to be nice to me. Because I won't ever come back again. And the thing about being a teenager is that everybody's rude to you when you're going in to buy something. You could be the nicest person. You can be like, oh, can you please help me, ma'am? Like, you can put on your nice voice and shit, and bitches still be mean to you. And that's it. Like, even, like... But now that I look older, they're not that mean to me now, but still. Stupid, I hate the DMV. Like, why would you complain about a job you chose? And, like, not even, okay, you can complain, whatever, but be rude to a customer. You chose your fucking job. You are obligated to work at the fucking DMV and be a fucking bitch all fucking day. And the lady that helps my dad, because he had to pay for registration, was even worse of a bitch. And I was like, oh, you're straight up bitch. I'm not going to be nice to you. My dad was being nice, and my dad's never nice. So I was like, oh, this bitch. Like, I was like, don't. And she tried to say something to me. She was like, where are all the pins? And I was signing my name with the pin that she gave me. But I was like, this bitch is just rude. I told my dad, too. I was like, that bitch was rude. And my dad's like, she was, but you have to be nice. I'm like, no. I don't give a fuck about that bitch. If she's gonna be rude to me, I'm gonna be rude straight back. But, whatever. So, yeah. Point of the DMV, there's really no point in being nice to the ladies because they're just gonna be bitches to you. But if they're nice to you, like, oh, hello, how can I help you? But if they're like, how can I help you? Then you get to be a bitch. Just telling you right now. They're gonna be bitch. But not all of them are bitches. You just gotta watch out. Because there's always, half of them are bitches. Probably more, like, 3/4 of them are bitches. But anyway, that was my DMV experience.